in summary, what we do is we allow you to log in to DApps with Google. And basically, you don't have to care about your private key as a new user, not yet. But then after a while, we will let you offboard. And behind the scenes, how we do it is we split your key into shards. And in order to reconstruct it, you need majority of the shares. And then we have all these shares be held by other servers. So the servers are not run by us. We run only one of the servers. So a bunch of people run these servers. They're distributed across the world. And then when you log in Google, you get that share back, and then you reconstruct your key in the browser. So long story short, log in Google, shares from somewhere come back after you proven that you've logged in Google, and then you get back private key. So users don't have to keep it. They don't need to know anything about seed phrases, like private keys, like hard wallets, stuff like that. So it's easier to show how it works just by looking at existing integration. But for now, if you guys are interested in trying it out, as I give the talk, you can go to app.tor.us and app.tor.us, app.tor.us. I don't have the. Thank you. It's the other side. Yeah. So show of hands, who here is already building a DApp or like has an existing DApp that they're working on before they came here? And the rest of you are working on this hackathon, just building cool stuff. Okay. I see, I see. Okay, okay. And before this, you guys were using MetaMask like to let users interact with your dApps? Predominantly MetaMask. No Brave users. No. Okay. What about mobile? So like, have you any of your users asked for a mobile version of your app? No. They have? What do you tell them? Ah, okay. Then how are you communicating with the blockchain via mobile? Ah, okay. So you set up a remote node like Geth or something, or Infura. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. And then you, but what about the keys? Like it's managed by you guys or the user? Oh, it's in the phones. Okay, okay, okay. Cool. So it's not connected. Yeah. You know what? Why don't you use yours? Mine doesn't seem to be connected. How many of you guys are targeting mainstream users? How many of you want to like everybody to use your app, not crypto enthusiasts, right? So this is one of the issues that Torus wants to solve, right? So we want to be able to give your users just that they see a login with Google, right? And we give you a decentralized way to have them. I think of Torus as a decentralized key management system, right? They don't need to care about the underlying mechanisms. You can check them, you can verify how it works, right? But he doesn't need to know about it. So this is what we give you. A new user can just come into your DApp, go log in with Google or log in with Torus, which actually uses Google, all out, and then he has a private key that he can use. And you have actually, we tap into the web standard Web3, so you just use like any other Web3 provider.
Basically, what that means is if you guys are using MetaMask right now, you guys can swap MetaMask out for Torus one for one. Your app will still just work
Great,
exactly the
thank
same.
you. So yeah, you guys already heard what it does. Basically, frictionless logins for dApps. And if you already have a dApp, you can go check out the docs at docs.tor.us. Or you can do this. This is actually, you need to put app.tor.us in front of this. Let me just change this. Whoops. You want to put app.tor.us here. And actually, if you go to the site, it should just give you this entire script tag. So you notice there's a SHA hash there. So the reason for that is our front end needs to be secure, right? Because we're handling users' keys. So we want you guys to know that we don't change the JavaScript as and when we like, right? If we change the JavaScript, then we could like potentially steal keys. So all of these code is actually open source. You can look it on GitHub. And there's a SHA integrity hash. So if anything changes, you will know. So you can just go to app.tor.us and copy that one. So once you do that, all you need to do is put this script tag in your body of index.html. So a lot of like, if you're in React, usually it's index.html, right? Just put it in the body, the script tag. No, not the head. The reason for that is because there are certain, like for example, some Web3s, like MetaMask Web3, actually detect it like a bit later. So putting it in body like makes it load on time. So it's just some timing issues. Anyway, once you do that, it basically provides a Web3 instance that you can just use. So if your app is integrated with MetaMask already, it can use it straight away. So you just need to disable MetaMask on your browser, put this script tag in your body, and it should just work. We hook into the basic stuff like ethereum.enable, the usual Web3 calls like sign transaction stuff. And yes, that's about it. So it may not seem like it's that straightforward, but it really is. So this is an example integration. Right here, I'm using JavaScript injected into this tag onto the page. And after you click login, you will just trigger a Google login. And if you have 2FA enabled, it will prompt that. And then you can just log in and start using the tab. So afterwards, after this talk, we have lots of time. I'll go around and make sure that all you guys can get this integration working. It should be pretty straightforward.
Maybe what we can cover a little bit more is how Torus works behind the scenes. Okay, yeah. So this diagram kind of shows a little bit. I'm not sure how much Leonard covered, but we essentially allow users to log in to the decentralized ecosystem via social logins. So right now we support Google, but in the future we'll be supporting Twitter, GitHub, LinkedIn, and several others. You can combine multiples of these authenticators to one public-private key pair to make kind of like a threshold key. So for example, you could have a 2R3 with LinkedIn, Google, and GitHub. And if somebody wanted to access that key, they would have to have 2 access logins, like either like 2 or 3 of them to get that key. And that ensures that the authenticators themselves can't get access to your key as well.
It's also more secure because if someone hacks, like let's say your GitHub or like Google, you only hack like 2 accounts to get access.
Back in the background, what we use is a scheme called distributed key generation to generate users' keys. These keys are generated in the buffer in a series of nodes, which are then assigned to users as they log into the platform. So right now, these nodes are actually run by several organizations, including Virgil from the Ethereum Foundation, Binance Labs, Waseda University, as well as Kyber Network and several others. And these guys are basically the people which keep these different shares of your user's keys, which your user will authenticate with them to get back and add up in the browser and start using as a Web3 instance.
Just a general overview if you're interested. It's not super important.
Yeah.
And then, yes, we're giving out API prizes. So these are the API prizes. There's a 1 grand prize of $2,000 in ETH. ETH is fluctuating a lot right now, so I really don't know how much ETH that is. But it will be awarded when we make the decision to the best DApp that incorporates Torus as the login mechanism. So that's the first grand prize. And then we're giving 2 prizes of $1,000 to DApps that fulfill an industry need. So in this particular case, it has to be like an existing industry, not something that is like very crypto specific, but something that's like already in existing industry. And then the last one is a 1 prize of $1,000 in ETH awarded to DApp. That's the most seamless and intuitive user onboarding process. So that's also really important to us because one of the core goals of Torus is to make crypto applications that you guys are building accessible to the public, right? And normal users may not want to deal with private keys or even know what they are before they use your app. And we have a few other prizes after that. 1 prize of $1,000 in ETH awarded to DApp. That's the best overall user experience. And so the previous one was user onboarding. This one's just user experience. Another one for DApps that displays the most innovative use of Torus. So Torus right now is used for logins, but you can actually use it for other things. You can use it, for example, to look up a person's, since it's tied to a Google, right? You could maybe send money to a person's Google account or send a CryptoKitty to a person's Google account. There's something interesting that you could use it for, examples. And then the last one is a prize of $1,000 in ETH, awarded DApp with the most creative design for implementing Torus. So that's all. If we actually hook into a bunch of existing Web3 calls. So you do ethereum.enable. If you are used to MetaMask APIs, nowadays they use ethereum.enable to call that before you can get access to the user's ETH account, right? So if you do ethereum.enable, it actually just triggers this call with node.torus login. But if you want, you can also just call this yourself to trigger user login. And if MetaMask is already installed, would Torus be able to work? No, it won't work. MetaMask loads too fast because it's a browser extension. So it will just disable it. So if you want to test it out, please turn off MetaMask. Easy way to do that would be to run in incognito. And the last one is run your browser incognito.
I mean, you could actually just build two paths as well in the DApp.
Yeah.
If you want to integrate it right now, you can just like disable MetaMask.
Yeah.
Play with Torus.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
But if you use incognito mode, it should also just work. Yeah. And yes, you can read from the ETH network. Just use the same Web3 calls like web3.eth.getAccounts, web3.eth.contract.add, and then make a call. They all use the same APIs. So, yep. If you like what we're doing, you want to reach out to us, come here. We're always open. We're actually looking for authenticators that may be interested in building out more login mechanisms. So right now we have Google login, but if you are authenticator out there, like let's say you have some type of API login, like OAuth login, we'll be happy to integrate you. That's all. Cool. Yes.
We can come around and if you guys have any questions.
Oh, sorry, you having a question, yeah.
Yeah, I was just asked if you guys talk a little bit like how do you guys incentivize these guys to stay available with all the different shares, and then like ensuring the integrity barriers, I guess, between each one.
Right. So the back end of it, right, is actually publicly verifiable in the sense that all of these nodes, they do a lot of messages to do key generation, right? All of that happens on a shared BFT layer, like Byzantine fault tolerant layer. We actually use Tendermint core as the engine, and all of that is actually recorded. So if any of them did malicious activity, it would be there, and you could submit a proof of that. So that's one way to do it. Right now, a lot of these nodes they're running it are not doing it for money, right? I mean, this is free to use, first of all. Second of all, they just want to incentivize the ecosystem to build apps that are usable by the mainstream audience. And this, I think, provides way more benefit than whatever money we can offer them. So that's kind of like the incentives for like a lot of these nodes. Cool. Go ahead.
So when it comes to like funding the accounts that are generated,
Yes.
like because if you have MetaMask, typically you're gonna like buy ETH on like Coinbase or something, transfer it to maybe a separate account. How do you have access to like the address so you can withdraw to that, or is there some like flow that you recommend using for like funding the accounts?
There is an associated ETH address.
I know.
So.
Like, how does the user retrieve that?
You would, okay, let me just show you a live demo. Give me a sec. Do you have the latest one?
Yeah.
Do you need this? As in, do you need? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we weren't here.
Yeah, I think it works, I'm not sure. I tried it just now, but it wasn't working. Like the connection. It's a very tiny screen.
You have to click this because this one is connected to the remote. And then
Yeah, I think you have to use this. Like it's, yeah, it's connected to the remote.
It's just a clicker.
I don't know.
that's why I click this now.
Do you use my computer? Yeah, I'll use mine now. Like, this doesn't. Yeah. So what did you want to see? Like getting the
Yeah,
address?
like you know, the like kind of user flow for them like funding the account.
We typically have, I mean, actually right now it's not up just yet, but on our front end we have several fiat to crypto integrated, fiat to crypto providers integrated onto the platform. So these include Wire, which is just outside, Simplex.
So is that integrated now or just?
It's Wire is integrated now, but yeah, the rest aren't integrated just yet.
Whoa.
But like any other DApp, you'd be able to easily just get your public address and
Okay, so
take it
you
off
would
and
just be using like you just get accounts and
yeah,
just display that.
exactly,
For them. All right.
exactly.
Also, on that like point of like Web3, is it basically injecting like normal Web3 with its own provider? Like, could we take our own version of Web3 that's like at a specific version and then pull in the provider that from the Web3 version that's being injected?
You probably could. You probably could inject your own Web3 version as a mask either over the one that we are providing. You could actually rip it out, but I think it wouldn't be the easiest thing. Right now, so how it works on the front end is that we keep a user's key. So MetaMask keeps a user's key on a separate JavaScript context, which is the Chrome extension, right? And this ensures that your key isn't readable by any DApp using it, and basically the DApps can't take and run with your key, right? So we do something similar, but we use an iframe as a separate JavaScript context to keep your key. So this iframe basically communicates with the Web3 instance that we provide to you guys, and you can replace that Web3 instance with a newer version and provide a provider on top, and then inject the provider that we provide on that Web3 instance. It is possible, but it's just a bit more work.
Yeah, it's the same way you would do it with MetaMask. So right now, MetaMask exposes Ethereum, right? Windows.ethereum. You can wrap that around a Web3 version that you want and use that version. So it uses the same calls on the hood. So anyway, I don't know why the screen resolution is like this, but okay, what I'm showing here is I have this tiny like little user script, and what it does is it just injects the script tag that I showed just now, app.us, onto the page, and it just works. So let me show you. So you click start, it's going to trigger a login, which usually looks bigger. That's what she said. And then, and then, yeah, and then you can just start using the DApp. So I'm logged in. I can check out my wallet here. Ooh, what's this? Dapper is here. Oh, they are here. And then this is usually way bigger actually. But I don't think I can change the display size. I tried it just now. It's super small here on my screen too. But anyway, I just made it bigger. You can see like how much you have. You can look for top up. Not integrated right now. And then if you want to see your address, you can just get it via window.web3.eth.accounts. So if you go to here, oh, I'm not on the main network. Yeah, if you go to app.us, you can just integrate it like that.
Also, I wanted to mention one of our developers noticed that the app.tor.us snippet works, but the one under get it and started page,
Mm-hmm.
we're having like core header issues.
Which ones?
The one on the snippet on the getting started page doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been updated just yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
Thanks
if anyone
for
else is
pointing
getting the core header issues, like that's what's going on.
Okay. So yeah, just put this in your DApp, and it should just provide you a Web3 instance. It's kind of really small. I'm just gonna not use this. It's hard. Settings for scaling. Oh shit, it's really tiny. better. Thank you. Okay, so let's try a different app. So this is just window.web3.sign, and you can just get back a signature. For those of you who are more interested in like the console stuff, you just like window.eth.accounts. Web3.accounts. You can web3.eth.sign.
Can you make it larger on the bus?
Yeah, you can just all these things are available in the browser. So we provide this Web3 that you can just call. So for most dApps, I think you would probably call send transaction, as well as some other like smart contract specific calls. So those should just work.
All right, and if you're doing like a send on a smart contract call,
Yes.
it's gonna pop up with that.
Yes. Let me see whether I can do it here. So like, I mean, there's a smart contract here, right? I don't know if I have ETH on this account, but let me just.
So we have some swag for you guys who asked questions. I think the gentleman there has already left.
It's 10.
Oh, we have one for you.
Yep. So I'm not sure whether you saw that already, but yeah, you can just buy stuff on. I can just buy stuff on an app here.
Can you link an existing address?
Sorry?
Can you link an existing address to your Google account? Or
Right
just
now,
on
not
your
yet, no.
On your
No, right now not yet. We are planning on doing that, but the problem with that approach is that it's actually less secure. So our keys are generated on behalf of you by multiple servers, right? So it's not just one person doing it. As long as any of them are doing securely, it works, right? Because they contribute randomness to this key.
And
So-
that happens real time when a new user just happens to log into an application using Torus and then they sign in through Google, it'll just generate a address for them as a first time user, or is it an
Yes.
existing account?
Yes, but we do it with a buffer, so it's way faster than doing real time. So like a buffer keys, and then like as you come along, assign you, run a buffer, generate more. So yeah, something like that.
You
So
asked a question. You get to shoot.
Thank you.
I think we have 5 minutes, guys.
yeah, so we can go around. Like you guys have like very specific questions, we can answer them.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you only share private keys, or are you consider sharing like arbitrary secrets, like DApps specific wallet secrets?
Not considered yet, but private keys are like what we're focusing on now. What were you planning to do with private, like these things?
I can tell you offline.
Okay. Sharing secrets. I see. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's basically what you can do. I think there's also like a few more APIs. It's in our documentation site, but mostly just around these things. You're saying?
What was the other demo app that we had before this?
CryptoKitties or which one? Oh, there was a demo app. Is it this one? CryptoKitties one? Okay. Oh, it's huge. So I think you can just log in. So okay, if you want that to be no problems, please put it in the body. Like I know like a lot of different like React has a few libraries that listen to Web3 really late. So like if you have it in the head or something, like sometimes it just doesn't hook. Yeah, so put it in the body. It has the best results. I've done a lot of testing with these things. So
And also, so we have 2 minutes left. If someone wants help or has questions or anything, we'll be around. Right?
Yeah, you
Yep.
guys actually don't have anyone following you.
So never
Sorry,
scratch
false
that.
alarm.
So you can hang out here, continue hacking. Go ahead.
can I get a chair?
No, stand.
CryptoKitties is actually kind of wonky. Like they have a really weird loading thing. Like it works sometimes.
Thank you, man.
No problem. So
I'm waiting to not upload my, but I want to see you in your
Large.
We had issues yesterday because we were using the
Oh.
script from the.
no, yesterday was we had some huge server issues. Like last night, I hardly slept, dude. It was really annoying. So, but it's working now. Yeah, you got it up.
You guys gonna have a booth here all day or?
No, but we'll be here all day.
Oh, you'll be
yeah,
here
we'll
all
be here all day. What are you guys doing?
Was that life insurance?
Right.
Trying to keep it simple, but we wanted to kind of mess around with both this and Chainlink as well.
Right. Let us know if you have any issues. You guys can go to the Telegram chat. There's like one for Torus here,
Okay.
and it's just Torus Labs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
Cool.
I'll probably see you around.